Hi there, listener. You're about to experience TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games, and there will be plenty of game talk, but also copious amounts of crude, off-color, offensive, and immature speech. So if you are of a rather sensitive humor constitution, we're just letting you know what you're in for with this show. It has games. It has jokes. You know, just games and jokes. Take the games, take the jokes, and have a good time.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to yet another TADPOG podcast.
Another one?
Another one. This is a show where not two old guys, not three old guys, but four old guys talk about a legitimately old game. It's older than our rather young lady, Nicole Nance.
We're talking about Chinese checkers.
Chinese checkers. Talking about the ancient game Go. Now, this week, we selected for Other Ship Monday by request of Phil Hawkins, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins, who is here.
I am.
Alongside the other expert of this game, one half of TADPOG Sweethearts, Josh Nance.
Mm-hmm. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
I'm doing well.
Phil, you're definitely increasing your Patreon donation for this, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right,
yeah.
good.
That
'Cause
verbal contract still stands.
my finger was hovering over the hang up button.
Because Nicole would be here with Josh, but there are no Pokemon to catch at my house, so
Is she
she's
addicted?
not here.
That was determined before we come here. She had me ask Tyler if there were any Pokemon here. He said no, so nope.
Never caught a
coming.
single one here without using incense.
So it's like Link took a little bit of damage, and there's just half a heart now, half of Tadpog. So.
It's all right. I'll be playing the role of Nicole today.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Hey, I like where this is going.
Things are about to get weirdly
Josh, your
sexual.
lovemaking is adequate.
Oh.
But today we'll be talking about Zelda II, The Adventure of Link.
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo. But first, I'm your bearded host, Tyler, and I have a story I believe I've held off on. So, because it pertains to Josh Nance. Because Josh, you have actually witnessed me making love before.
Yes.
Yes.
That was a very keep it in six answer. Yes.
If you can call it that.
Oh! We need sound drops for that. Like a toilet flushing.
Because back in early college, I was hooking up with somebody. I was at a shitty apartment, and Josh was over hanging out. And she was there with me. And Josh, you're like, I'm hungry. I'm going to go get some Taco Bell. And I swear I heard you say, and go hang out with some other people. Mm-hmm. So when you left, we thought we had plenty of time. So we went back and no one was home. So we went back to my room, started having sex, and didn't shut the door. No one's home. Josh is going to be gone for a while. Just leave the door open. Well, no, you just went and got Taco Bell.
Right.
So I am on top in there, but we're covered up with a blanket. It's almost like something out of a romantic comedy, ish. So I'm going to town, but the blanket's covering up both of us. And then suddenly I just see your shadow loom into frame. And we both just...
He makes you sound like a pervert.
You guys want a Crunch Wrap Supreme?
No thanks, I already got a taco. Boom!
Toilet flush.
Because the light was shining right into my room, and then suddenly shadow, and we both look over, and then Josh, you're very shocked, holding a bag of Taco Bell, looking at us.
I wasn't sneaking up. It was a very small apartment. I don't know how you didn't hear me
you
come into the door.
Well, because I was fucking someone.
Preoccupied.
Fair.
Here comes Josh. Keep going.
Our plan is working out perfectly.
Just as we rehearsed it.
Because I look over, I thought you were going to hang out with people. No, I just went to get Taco Bell. Would you shut the door? Okay.
In a minute.
Josh, you didn't start tossing tacos at him like a dolphin at SeaWorld?
No, I was pretty poor. I couldn't
Or
afford.
sit down, crisscross applesauce, eating tacos, and just watching the show.
Did you continue fucking while you were asking Josh at all?
I
Or
was
did you
not.
pull out?
I was in, but I was not moving in and out. I took a temporary pause,
Okay.
and then when Josh shut the door, then we finished.
I mean, I guess you're welcome. You probably lasted a little bit longer.
No, shorter.
No, more exciting. Okay, well, yeah, I guess that's. I mean, I just assume that's one of the hazards of having a roommate in college is you're gonna
Yeah.
eventually see them fucking somebody.
That has never happened to me.
I've
never
heard
been.
through the ventilation system, but never walked in on it.
I've been very careful. I don't want to see any of that. no offense to anybody here. I don't want to see any of that.
Because I'm trying to think. Because I've heard you and Nicole have sex, Josh, like using the bathroom at your old apartment.
It was.
I've never actually. I don't think I've walked in on because I've heard you guys and when I live with Jacob. I think that's it.
The problem with the house or the apartment that we were in was there were 2 bedrooms and they were separated by the bathroom, and the bathroom had the doors were the bottom of the doors were 3 inches off the ground, so you could pretty well crawl under. So anything
You could stick a dick under there.
anything that happened in the bathroom, you could hear from the bedrooms and vice versa. So that there's no sound muffled at all.
No acoustic
Yeah,
damage.
I think it actually enhanced it. I think yeah.
Just the echoing slaps of lovemaking.
Good acoustics. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
What's up, Internet? I am Dave, and I can't speak. Or actually, I was just putting that I was rapping. You like that? I don't have a story. But I stayed up all night playing Chivalry, Medieval Warfare with Time Lord Josh Edwards, and that was a lot of fun. So,
Because I've heard that has the best melee combat system of any type of game like that, any first-person combat game.
it's a Tadpog callback because I think I talked about this game on episode 3 of Tadpog, where I still stand by my statement that this is how Elder Scrolls combat should be, because this is fun combat. Elder Scroll combat, I don't think very fun because it is a lot of times I'm running backwards, swinging my sword in Elder Scrolls games.
Right.
Yeah.
Where Chivalry, there's a whole bunch of different moves, sweet moves you can do with your sword, and I like that stuff.
Well, you just max out stealth and just sneak attack them over and over.
Right.
Get right up on
Yeah.
them and just waylay them with your great sword.
Some of the Gray Fox stuff from from Oblivion, where it's just it doesn't matter what you do, you're invisible all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah. So if anybody, this is actually just an elaborate, stupid plug. If anybody wants to watch me and Josh Edwards play 4.5 hours of Chivalry, that is on the Tadpog Twitch channel. So you can check it out. It's Phil, you need to get it. Everyone here at the table needs to get it.
Do you have him in picture on the screen as well?
No, unfortunately not.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. Nor did he. He wasn't playing when I started. It was kind of well, you play the game, and if I like what I see, I'll buy it. He liked what he saw, and he bought it. So
Oh,
You
wow.
start jerking off, and if I like what I see, I'll finish.
I will give you money. But nothing else has been going on. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy XIV, a lot of it. The Palace of the Dead, that new progressively generated dungeon is amazing. It's really fun. And I didn't know this when I was talking about it on the last episode, but they just released the first 50 levels of that dungeon. It's eventually going to be 200 levels deep. So they're going to build on it, and it is a lot of fun. So I kind of got sucked into that, and I got sucked into going through the main scenario quests, which is essentially a visual novel. So it's
All right, so I'd be into it. Okay.
yeah. I was thinking about you as I was playing it. I was like, I don't like this much, but Tyler might.
Only if you can fuck disabled girl.
Prerequisite for every game from now on.
There are two buttons that need to be on every console, any future console controller. It's the Be Wolverine button and the fuck disabled girl. It needs to be incorporated in any game, no matter what you're playing.
So this is a long way of me saying that I'd like to do an all calls episode on Wednesday, so that I can actually play I Am Setsuna because I still haven't played the game. Oh, also, I don't want to play Dune for the Sega Genesis. I want to put that off as long as possible because it's another RTS game for the Sega Genesis, and I'm not. My body is not prepared for that yet. So
we can do a huge thing over Dune, like the movie. I've read the book and the video game.
Oh, I'm glad that you've read the book because I haven't.
Listen to him brag over there. Read the book.
Yeah, that fucker's like 1,800 pages or something, isn't it?
I listened to the audiobook, and it was
Forget it.
Yep. That was many trips back and forth from Louisville to finish that book.
Did you like it? I know this isn't
did.
the Dune episode.
I liked it, but I didn't continue on with the series.
So what? It's a series.
Oh, it's a huge
Man, why
series.
is everything a fucking series?
It's massive. Like even after the author dies, his son takes over and continues it on. It's huge.
Is this like Ender's Game where it just gets shitty later? So nobody bothers with the rest
From
of
what
them?
I've heard, yeah, they get, especially when his son takes over, it's just not the same.
Yeah, I heard that once the son takes over, it's an unbearable shit show of a book series. So,
Yeah. So we're definitely going to cover those.
just read the Frank Herbert originals.
Yeah, that's what, I thought it was Frank Herbert, but I'm not going to make that jump and be wrong.
I have been trying to read that recently, and it's a good first 3 pages, I will say. Like 3 to 5 pages. It's solid.
It helped that I'd seen most of the movie first, so I could properly picture Kyle MacLachlan as Muad'Dib.
Patrick Stewart as what's his name?
I haven't seen the movie.
you haven't?
I don't know anything
Patrick
about
Stewart's
Dune.
in it. You should watch it.
I am a big Patrick Stewart fan.
And who else is in it? Sting. Sting is in it as one of the villains.
Sting is in the
Sting is in
this movie.
doing the movie. Yep.
Really?
He plays one of the villains, and he's not bad. He's not
Really?
bad. Yeah.
Interesting. Do they play his music in the movie? Like, is it like if there's a big battle and then they pause and like, everybody, it's Sting! And then he comes out and plays.
It's like when Drew Carey had Smash Mouth on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, look.
I guess we got to fight Sting now, you guys. Also, he's going to do a routine from the Full Monty. I hope you guys enjoy this.
What about you, Josh?
What's up, Josh?
Hey,
Anything new?
nothing new. I've been playing some mobile games. Let's see. Pokemon Go, of course. Nicole and I were driving around town, went to the park and stuff. Got lots of them Pokemans. I've also been playing, I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong. It's the Final Fantasy Brave Excavus.
Yeah, that's probably not. Yeah, that's probably not what it's called.
Something like that. Yeah, it's actually a pretty decent Final Fantasy game. It's, of course, the pay to win model. It's you've got your energy to do things in the game that recovers in real time, but it's actually pretty fun. You get to unlock all the characters from the previous Final Fantasy games. So I've got like a party of Golbez, Terra, Shadow, all of them. So it's pretty fun.
I got really excited when you're like, I wish you'd have stopped it right there. It's like, I got a party full of Gobez. That's it.
You can have a party full of Golbezes.
Can you really?
Yeah, you can
Oh
get
my God.
multiple characters. So yeah, you can have like 5 Golbezes just obliterating everything.
So I know you got Kefka too.
Yeah, I got
you were
Kefka.
showing this to me
Kefka's
earlier.
pretty rare. Yeah, I only got one of him though. So
Can you
General
do?
Leo in there?
General Leo is in there.
Damn.
Yeah.
They are milking it. I love it.
Yeah, I haven't seen any from Final Fantasy VII yet, and I'm really hoping they'll put them in, and even Chrono Trigger. I don't know if they're going to branch out to that.
Wow.
But
That'd be interesting.
But that'd be pretty awesome.
Well, I like the idea of like putting together a party of Final Fantasy bosses.
Yeah.
Where it's like Golbez. And,
Yeah, X Death is in there as well. So
God.
you can have Kefka, X Death, and Golbez.
nice.
Former.
So wait, they don't have Final Fantasy VII characters in there yet?
Not yet. No.
Well, you got to wait till they release Sephiroth.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of like the keystone of your villain party.
Garland is in there as
Garland.
well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what's up, Phil?
Not much. Happy to be back. It's been a while since the last time. I think it was the All Calls episode. So I figured you guys had just gotten enough of me. We're like, three shows of Phil is plenty.
Oh no, it was. We wanted to get you on for one of the Simpsons games.
Yeah. There's a lot of Simpsons games to go on from here. So just because I couldn't make that one doesn't mean I can't make a future one.
Mm-hmm. My brother recently bought Bart's Nightmare for Super Nintendo. He's like, this is the worst game I've ever played. I was like, yeah, we're going to do it eventually. It's going to be awesome.
Is that the one where you've got like the X-ray glasses and you gotta determine if they're aliens or not?
That's Bart versus the Space Mutants for NES.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. Bart's Nightmare, is that the tomato throwing one? I know that's
well, it's like
a mini game in
he
one of the
loses
parts.
all of his homework, and you have to go through 8 different like nightmare stages to collect all of his homework again. And some of the stages are just fucking impossible.
I feel like that's a thing that Bart wouldn't give a shit about.
Yeah.
Like this isn't Martin's nightmare. Although that would have been like a really funny twist, I think, where it's like the game developer's like, these stupid fucking Simpsons fans, they'll buy anything we put out. Watch Martin's nightmare.
Remember that kid who threw up on the bus a lot? Fucking Wendell. We'll
Wendell.
make a game about him.
I have been rewatching
Bloody
Simpsons.
Gums Murphy's saxophone trainer for the Super Nintendo.
I want Wendell Kart, like a Mario Kart with Wendell.
I'm so ready to do that Simpsons wrestling game. It's so shitty. So shitty.
Phil, have you played the Simpsons wrestling game?
I have not. I don't think I've played any of the Simpsons games outside of like Tapped Out and maybe a handful on the Nintendo. Probably Bart's Nightmare is the last one that I played between Nintendo and Tapped Out.
Yeah, I don't think I played any after Nintendo because like I haven't played Bart's Nightmare or what's the Krusty's Funhouse game?
I played a lot of
Oh, I
Krusty's
have
Funhouse.
played that one. I do remember that one, yeah.
But
Still, I learned at an early age that Simpsons products were universally shit. So with a finite amount of time and money as a child, I knew not to spend like $60 on a Simpsons game.
well, the fucking arcade game like gave me hope. Like that's what like that I kept buying and like playing these games because it's like, oh well, the arcade game was a lot of fun, and then every experience after that has just been like, oh well, this sucks a lot. They need to go the South Park route because like every South Park game up until like Stick of Truth was awful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like that South Park racing game for N64.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we're definitely going to talk about that at some point.
Yeah.
That and Superman 64, which we still haven't talked about.
Because what was
Wait,
it? Go ahead,
I
Phil.
thought you guys did an episode on Superman 64.
No, not yet. Well, I have the game. I bought the game so that we could play it, but
Oh, okay.
the N64, those are the dark times, I feel like. Like, those are the dark episodes of TADPOG where it's like, man, I really don't like doing this show anymore.
We don't talk about N64.
So Nikki's been re-listening, and I've pretty much told her, all right, don't get worried about me when you listen to the N64 episodes.
I only phoned it in for 27 weeks. It's fine. Then I got better. No.
Well, you guys got time for an intro story? Or
Yeah,
are
please.
We,
Yeah,
please
do it up.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I feel that just like Josh Nance, who's been gone for a long time, we haven't had a good shit your pants story in a while, and I figured I can tell my own. I can tell my own signature shitting my pants story from college. And it's not like a misjudging a fart when you've got the flu kind of thing, like a full turd coming out and dropping in your drawers kind of thing. So
Something with weight.
something with heft.
Something with pants dragging heft.
But I guess the first thing you should know with the intro to the story is that I am convinced that I am one of the smelliest motherfuckers out there. And you guys don't know this because we've just met through internet. But you know how every stage of life you have a circle of friends, high school, college, work, etc. Consistently, every circle of friends in my life has all told me that I have the smelliest shits that they've ever smelled.
Phil, you're really making me not look forward to upcoming Dragoncon.
Dragoncon 2017. This is gonna be sweet.
Change your diet now.
Yeah, let's get you on. Let's start down that healthy
We'll
road
send you
now.
a truckload of pineapple. It'll be fine.
Yeah. I'm just gonna fumigate the hotel room. It's gonna be awesome. But no, the only person who I've met who actually has a similar bouquet as mine was a guy in college named Jeff Swerin, who is instrumental in this story, which takes place around sophomore year. And Jeff and I are going out to a house party, and us being, mature sophomores in college, what we kind of want to do, we're going to a party that is a little bit higher class. It's a wine party where, you dress up in your nice clothes. In this case, my nice clothes was a white pair of cargo pants and a nice button-up t-shirt. And so we go to this party and we're hanging out, and it's all right, but kind of boring. The house only has one toilet there, and it is right in the middle of the goddamn living room. The entrance to it
A
is shared the
freestanding
wall.
living room toilet.
That seems like
Everyone has to fucking watch it.
it's like an eyes wide shut scenario.
But no, it was just off the living room, very noticeable, and everyone, you could hear the flushing, you could hear stuff going on there. So one, I know that my shit smell awful, and if I go take a dump in there, it's just going to stink up the entire surrounding living room. And being a little bathroom shy, I didn't want to do that and have them listen to my trumpeting going on there. So I have to crap, but I hold it. I'm like, well, fine. Maybe an hour plus later, where Jeff and I are leaving the party, going to just a standard house party somewhere else that we've heard about. And while we're leaving, I'm like, oh, do you mind if we swing by your house? I got to take a shit. Which his house is probably on the way, maybe 5 blocks from the wine party house to his place. So it's all good. We're walking down there, and as we're walking, probably about 1.5 blocks in, it struck me that this is getting to emergency levels of fear and just sweat, and I'm not going to be able to make it, I don't think. But we keep going. He's just he's giving me encouragement. Come on, you can do it. We can make it there.
Come on, white shorts, let's go.
Yeah. And it's getting to the point where I got a legitimate shit turtle heading its way out of my butthole.
Walking funny.
Yeah, just every few steps, just poking its head out, being like, what's going on, guys? Can I see what's going on over here? And no, all right, I'll check back in about 5 steps. Don't worry. And it gets to the point where we're probably about 1.5 blocks. We can see his house from here, from the sidewalk, and we're walking next to what is the University of Puget Sound football stadium, and we've hit the limit. I cannot, I can clench no more, and it just starts sluicing out of me into my pants, and I'm just like, it's I can't make it. I'm shitting my pants now. I just have to, and I walk from the sidewalk to the grassy section between the sidewalk and the football grandstands. Drop trow and just take a shit underneath football grandstands with my shitty pants around my ankle. Jeff is just cracking up. He's loving every minute of
the portcullis has been raised.
And he kindly goes do you want me to walk over to my house and get some toilet paper? Yeah, please. So he comes back. I wipe myself, toss it on the lawn. And
I didn't have any toilet paper, man, so I brought these 5 diapers.
So I go thoroughly humiliated and upset. My house is probably 3 blocks from here in another cardinal direction, so I kind of pull up my shitty pants and just do the worst walk of shame from the spot of my defecating to the house. And throw those pants away, like white pants with just soaked through the outside, soaked through the underwear.
Oh God, this is like peanut butter. Ugh.
Yeah. Ask Jeff to. He's a notorious kind of a gossip, not like in a bad way, but he likes to. He's a storyteller, and this is just the juiciest thing he's gotten a hold of in some time. And I have to like beg and plead with him, like, I know I can't stop you from telling other people that I shit my pants in front of you. Can you stop just tonight? Like, let's go to some parties, and you don't tell people at the party that I just got back from shitting myself.
I'm impressed you got back out.
Yeah,
I would
really.
have just called it a night right then and there.
Yeah.
It was a time when I was much more social than I am now. Like, yeah, it's in my past. But yeah, that was and he kept to his promise. And I believe the next day during breakfast or during the first time we were with groups, he was very quickly to let, hey, I saw Phil shit his pants last night. It was fucking hilarious. You should hear about it. And yeah, it's
In fact, I recorded it.
yeah. And if a callback to my intro story from earlier when I got drunk and took my pants off and fell asleep in the hallway, Jeff was the guy who found me at like 2 a.m. passed out asleep in the hallway of my dorm with my penis hanging out. So he has been instrumental figure in my two most humiliating college stories. So it's interesting. So yeah, that's. Huh?
Is he a listener of the show? Do you know?
I don't think so, but I will tag him on Facebook and be like, "Hey, Jeff, you're mentioned in an episode of this show that we're doing."
Perfect.
I haven't talked to you in 15 years. Why are you contacting me? And
What I love the most about this is as Henry's getting older, like he's to the age now where we're thinking about potty training, and so like. We're showing him all these, like Daniel Tiger has this song about when you have to go potty, stop and go right away. And that's all
underneath the football stadium.
Yeah, that's what was playing through my head as you were saying the story, like the saddest version of Daniel Tiger's potty song. Where I'm like, Phil, you gotta stop, man. Go right away.
But I'm not done. I'm not through playing with my toys. Well, we'll leave a note here so no one will play with your toys while you go use the bathroom.
So what this is like now, I feel like the world needs a Daniel Tiger college years, where they take each episode of Daniel Tiger, like put a spin on it. Where it's like, well, Daniel didn't learn his lesson when he was 6. So
Prince Wednesday's affluenza, where he just murders and rapes people and gets away with it because he's rich and the king's son. Yeah. College Daniel Tiger.
You
really
know who I
yonked
am,
it.
motherfucker. I'm Daniel fucking Tiger.
Okay, so Phil, you need to change all of your gut bacteria out before Dragoncon. So what Tyler and Dave and I are going to do are each shit in a bag, separate bags. We're going to send you separate bags of shit. Okay. And I guess anybody in TADPOG Nation who wants to as well. And you just pick the smell that you like, and then you have to ingest it to get those good shit-smelling bacteria.
Can I mix it with like an Activia yogurt or something?
Yeah. To make it go down, or you could put it in little pill capsules and swallow it like that.
It's the do it at home fecal transplant kit we're gonna send you.
But you just pick the fragrance you like, and
That's a thing that happens though. Fecal transplants.
Oh yeah.
To fight C. diff.
C. diff.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I know 2 people who've had C. diff.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I don't know
man.
what this is.
It's a nasty thing where like your good your good culture inside your intestines becomes bad culture, and it essentially makes it to where you can not eat a lot of stuff and you get sick constantly.
A whole nother like layer of bad skin grows inside your intestine. Like the bacteria sets up its own separate layer on top of your layer and just fucks everything up. You'd think I know more about it. I don't, because I know 2 people who've had it. My grandfather had it, and then it's one of those things where it's like
Well, that's just something I'm sure that older people get. I don't have to worry about that. And then, like, somebody I know who is my age got it, and it was like, oh no.
I think in the hospital there are like 3 or 4 specialized rooms for it that they.
Because it's contagious.
Oh, super contagious and like just super bad. So like everything in there, somebody stays in there in that room afterward, they just burn everything, destroy everything after they're done, and put it back again new because they're just like.
The crew from ET comes in.
Yeah. I mean, the hospital I work at is also the only Ebola hospital in the area.
Really?
So it also has a few Ebola specialized rooms.
Interesting.
Which I learned in orientation that it's kind of scary to me that our sewer system is good in Paducah, good enough to handle someone with Ebola throwing up in the toilet and flushing it. So
that's the sign as you go into Paducah. Our sewer system, it's good enough.
Ebola up into our toilets. We're good.
Our Ninja Turtles are safe.
There's a fucking sign. Welcome to Paducah. 3 days since Ebola incident.
But no, I will. There will probably be a different bouquet coming from me when I get to Dragoncon next year because I am legitimately going to try and follow through on my lifelong dream of cosplaying as Zangief. Because I have the body and the hair type, it's just covered in a layer of glistening fat. So I need to shed all this. I'm about 230, 225 right now. I need to drop like 25 to 45 pounds between now and next year's Dragoncon.
Just be the after years.
The after years, yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Well, I looked up cosplay, and there are a lot of really sad, fat Zangiefs out there, and I don't want to add to them. I want to be. I'm not going to be ripped in a year, but I can be adequate. I can be fine. I'll be okay.
I'll be okay.
Zangief at a 6.
Yeah.
Just give up and wear a bear costume.
There you go.
No, you be Zangief and I'll be Shao Kahn. That'll be our fitness goal.
I'll
our
be
fitness
Sonya
goal
Blade.
cosplay. Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming Atlanta in September is going to be hot as fuck, and
Yeah.
like you, Tyler. I am just, I have to have it like at 68 to 70 degrees where I'm just sweating my balls off. So the idea of being in just the lightest clothing and being almost nude actually kind of appeals to me from a temperature body standpoint.
Yeah. It's also anywhere you want to go in downtown Atlanta is uphill. How that physically happens, I have no idea.
Even when you go back again, it's all uphill.
Yeah.
Kind of weird, but yeah. So you're gonna be like going outside and walking uphill a lot as well. So
I think last year was the first year that we all were like, we're not leaving the hotel this year. We're just not leaving the complex because normally we'll make one voyage out to eat somewhere or something.
At least
it's
one.
always miserable. So it's like, nope, we're just gonna stay inside, eat the food court every day. It's fine. It was better.
Yeah. No, it was nice.
yeah, they're moving the board games out this year though.
That
so
sucks.
yeah,
Yeah.
we may be leaving.
I think
Like-
they're moving all of the gaming because I think like the tabletop gaming is going to be out at the Weston.
Oh, Jesus, that's the worst one.
Yeah, I know.
That's like really uphill.
I know, like everyone was grousing about it last year, and that it was all the game managers. They were like, "No, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be all like it was like very much like we have to quell this riot. No, it's going to be great. There's going to be space. There's going to be air conditioning. It's going to be wonderful."
You guys want to talk about Zelda 2?
Yeah, we can do that thing that we're supposed to do on this episode, I guess. Now that we're an hour in.
Dave, do you hear that?
I do hear that. It sounds like Zangief shitting his pants in the 18 diapers that Fei Long has given him.
Too late. It's too late.
Which, of course, we all know ushers in a segment that we like to call Dave Reads from Wikipedia. Also, I'd like to let everybody know this will be the last thing I say on this episode, so enjoy this. Okay, guys. Zelda II: The Adventure of Link.
Well, okay. And Dave's done.
Somebody restart Dave.
There's no entry here. It's weird. No, as it's known in Japan, Rinku no Boken, Adventure of Link, is an action role-playing video game with platforming elements. It's the second installment in the Legend of Zelda series, and it was developed and published by Nintendo for the Family Computer Disk System on January 14th, 1987, less than a year after the original The Legend of Zelda. Let's see. What else? It is a direct sequel to the original Legend of Zelda, again involving the protagonist Link, who is on a quest to save Princess Zelda, who has fallen under a sleeping spell. The adventure of Link's emphasis on side-scrolling and role-playing elements, however, was a significant departure from its predecessor. As of 2016, the game remains the only technical sequel to the original title, as all other entries in the series either are prequels or take place in an alternate reality, according to the official Zelda timeline. The game was highly
But you
successful.
love timelines,
Oh,
Dave.
man, I love official timelines. Give me meaning to my life, Nintendo. The game was highly successful at the time and introduced elements such as Link's magic meter and the Dark Link character that would become commonplace in future Zelda games. Although the role-playing elements such as experience points and the platform-style side-scrolling of multiple lives were never used again in canonical games. It was followed in 1991 by The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, which we all remember from IGN's list, which we've covered, and I'll have a link to that in the show notes if you want to listen to that.
Number 1, wasn't it?
It was their number one game.
This is only the second Zelda game we've ever done. No,
Yeah,
we did Link's
did
Awakening.
Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina-
We did Link's
shit,
Awakening.
Majora's Mask.
We did Majora's
Man, I was way
Mask.
off.
We've done a few.
I blocked out everything else. Majora's Mask took me back in time to day one, and I totally forgot.
We've done more Zelda games than Final Fantasy games.
Okay, that's very true.
Do you even know how to TADPOG?
No, I forgot that is how to tadpog.
Yeah, I'll have a link to all of those episodes in the show notes
Josh,
if you want to catch up.
just you and I can just take over. We'll be Jappog from now on.
No, done.
Because, oh man. Okay, I'm going to liken this game to Mario 2.
Yeah.
In that it is a radical departure and set up it gets a lot of flack, but also set up a ton of things that remain consistent in that universe.
All right, so what are those? I'm interested. What are the things that it set up?
Because, of course, Link having sword maneuvers.
You dagger maneuvers, really. It's a really,
Yeah, it's
really,
a really
tiny sword.
Yeah.
It's a good enough size.
It's
It's a nice size.
Most enemies prefer it to be stabbed by it.
It's adequate.
It's big enough to get the job done.
It's how you use the sword. It's fine.
So wait, so Zelda 2 is the first of the Zelda games to introduce that mechanic?
Because you learn the upward thrust and downward thrust from other people. And like in the first one, you don't learn any specialized moves.
Leveling up, is another big one. You gain experience in the game and can level up Link.
Yeah.
In addition to learning moves from various NPCs in the game.
Magic spells, learning lots of different spells and effects. A lot of iconic music. And I believe my favorite Smash Brothers level is from Zelda 2, that version of Hyrule Castle and that music. I think.
Is this the only Zelda game that has the experience point system?
To my knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also having extra lives, because normally you just have that 1 meter and that's it. In this, you have
Gotcha.
additional lives.
Right.
That's why I paused when I was doing the Dave reads from Wikipedia. Like, I got to lives in the entry, and I was like, I don't think they mean lives, but okay, they do mean
You
lives.
find extra
mean
Link
lives.
dolls all over the world that give you extra lives.
Yeah. Do you know why they did this? Like, why? Like, what's the story behind?
I guess it's
this
just
departure?
Nintendo just trying to.
Innovate,
Yeah.
which they've never been really afraid to. So
Yeah.
you gotta. It doesn't always work out for them, but they at least try new things.
Because this game gets a lot of shit, but actually, I really, really enjoyed it. I was stunned by, like, I remember people talking so much shit about it, and I tried to play it with Brandon, like, back in, like, the early 90s, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. But sitting down and playing it a few years ago on the Wii Virtual Console, like, I legitimately really enjoyed this game.
Yeah, I had a couple older cousins that introduced me to it, playing at my grandmother's house, and they're the ones who like showed me how to navigate through that maze,
the Death
cavern.
Mountain.
Yeah,
Their
the
Death
whatever.
Mountain is ridiculous.
Yeah, just and this game is kind of riddled with puzzles like that you kind of have to know exactly what to do. If you do it by trial and error, you're just never gonna get it.
Yeah, you straight up
Yeah.
need a guide for this.
So what's an example? Like,
Well,
Death Mountain, definitely.
Yeah.
okay, so what do you have to do in Death Mountain?
There are it's a very difficult area. A lot of high level enemies doing
Okay.
lots of damage to you. You got to get through this cavern, and then you're faced with 3 different caverns to choose from. Only one of them's the right one. Well, you get through that one, and then there's another 3 to choose from, and
The map looks like a
it's-
huge piece of Swiss cheese,
Yeah.
popping in and out different areas and
And
it's
you're in
crazy.
the middle of this cavern, and you actually have like 3 different exits. Now, which one do you take? So there's just so many ways to go, so many paths to go that it's just ridiculously hard to get through.
It's like the Bebe Kids haunted house.
Oh God. Is there an ad like built into the game where it's like call 1-900?
Yes. The other example I was going to use is the final boss is this Thunderbird, and the only way to
A
beat
car?
it's
Yeah.
it is a
It's a
car.
Pontiac?
It's really weird.
Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Bioshock Infinite style, there's a rip in time.
So the only way to beat it is to use these spells. These spells, by the way, are optionally gained. I believe you can miss them.
Yeah.
So you have to cast them in a certain sequence in order to. And there's no like indication in the game, as far as I've ever learned, that this is the sequence you cast them in to be able to hurt this boss. So I would call Nintendo Power. And I got in trouble. I got grounded for costing it's like I don't remember how much it cost, but
Yeah,
of course
it's
I didn't
a
care.
few
but-
bucks a minute.
Yeah, it was,
Honey, did Josh put down a deposit on some kind of car or something?
But oh man, because there are a few things, like there's a magic spell just called spell, and spell only has one function, and it's to go into this open area and you cast spell and it makes like level 6 appear, and there's no indication pretty much anywhere else. Like you can talk to people, there are towns and stuff you go to. It's the most heavily RPG Zelda to date.
yeah, semi-random encounters. It's you can possibly avoid them as you're walking on like dangerous terrain. Pretty much anything that's not a road on the overmap, enemies will constantly appear and kind of chase you.
Okay.
And if you run into them, then you're in a random encounter.
Okay, that's cool. I like that.
It switches from top down to side-scrolling view.
So
They're
it's
like-
like Earthbound kind of deal, like
Yep.
where you see the enemies.
Yeah.
And if you can avoid them sort of by retreating back on the road.
Yeah.
Because if you're on the road, and if you get a random encounter, it's just a blank screen you just walk off of.
I see. Because the monsters are chaotic.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't obey the laws.
So yeah, you have an indication of a strong enemy or a weak enemy. That's basically what you see coming at you.
Okay.
And then depending on the area of the world that you're in is what the actual enemies are. So it's pretty interesting. Sometimes it's just the terrain that's against you. I don't know what they're supposed to represent, but like fireballs being like shot at you sideways and stuff like that. So it's very, very heavily RPG Zelda.
Yep.
So
And I
it's-
think that's what drew me to it originally, because this is actually the first Zelda game that I ever played. I'd never, when I first saw this, I had never played the original Zelda, so this was my introduction to the series. And regardless of what you think of how it fits in to other Zelda games, like as a standalone game for the NES, it's incredibly good. Like it's got some shitty parts to it, which I'm sure we'll get to. But like, there are so many terrible NES games out there to compare this thing to that. Like this is a legitimately like probably top 3 game for me for the NES. So So it's solid, but it is Nintendo hard, and the lives system in there kind of works against that because if you die, you kind of start back where you were. If you're in a palace, you'll start back at the beginning. Fine. If you lose all three of your lives, it gives you the game over screen where Ganon laughs just like Soda Popinski from Punch Out, and
Return of Ganon,
Yeah.
and then just him looming over in red.
yeah,
Red
because
background.
I guess the story mode of this is that the evil forces of Ganon, after Ganon dies in the first game, they want Link's blood. If they can sprinkle Link's blood over Ganon's ashes, he will rise again, and they have to get it in fucking buckets full because Link dies so many goddamn times. Absurd. And when you lose all three of your lives, you go back to the very beginning palace. So, like, if you're at the end, which takes a long time to traverse the overworld to get to the very last palace, if you die three times there, you actually have to go back to the very beginning of the game. And
But-
I misspoke because the actual last palace, the very end palace, you can start back at the palace when you lose all three lives. But any other part of the game, if you lose three
gotcha.
lives, beginning of the game.
But do you keep your progression? Like,
yeah,
so it's
and
just.
there are checkpoints too. Like you keep the items you know the palaces you've completed, the items you've got, you get to keep. And there are certain sort of like checkpoints, like near the beginning palace of the game, there's a road going down to a boulder, just a boulder blocking your path.
Yeah.
Well, eventually you get the hammer, which allows you to
can
destroy
break
the
it.
boulder, and you've now got a shortcut. So
Gotcha. And that remains when you die.
right,
Yeah.
right, yeah. So you can, and then eventually you'll get the raft, which will allow you to you just go through the boulder, go through the raft, and once you hit those sort of like soft checkpoints, and I mean you'll be okay. But yeah, you do start at the beginning every time you lose all three lives.
And your experience points go away when you die, which is kind of an interesting system.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot like Rogue Legacy, where you got to spend them when you get them, because if you die, they're gone. Except, with Rogue Legacy, you die, you spend them before you start playing again. With Zelda 2, you have to spend them before you die, because if you die, it erases all your experience. You go back to square one. You still get to keep your level up, like you're leveling up your magic,
Yeah.
and your life, and
you got
your
attack, magic, and
attack.
health. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes grinding levels really interesting. Do you want to risk? Do you want to risk the dying and losing everything to get that attack up, or do you want to go ahead and spend it on something like magic, which you're probably not going to use much?
Yeah.
To and be safe. So
See, I prefer the level up system in this game to hunting heart containers all over the world.
Yeah.
Because you just gain a level and put it in health. There's no going to all these weird places to get 4 pieces of heart to get one more heart. Like,
It is frustrating to get like a quarter of a heart in a Zelda game. Like that always bugs the shit out of me, because it's like, well, that was really hard, and I only have to do it 3 more times before it matters.
was it Twilight Princess where they upped it to like a fifth of a heart? I'm like, oh Jesus, why?
So is the level up system okay? So when you die, you lose all the experience. That kind of reminds me of Dark Souls a little bit. Like, is it?
Yeah.
similar?
Yes.
Okay.
It's, because you've got the 3 categories: attack, life, and magic. Each one takes X number of experience points, and every time you level, it costs more and more. So if your attack's up to level 3, it's going to cost way more to raise it to level
Right.
4 than your magic level 1 to level 2 would cost.
Can you spend them at any time, or do you have to be in a special area in order
Just
to?
in the menu.
Yeah. Okay.
You
cool.
have to level up. It'll give you the option to,
Oh, wow.
once you get to a level up threshold, like 700 experience to level up magic, you can level up your magic then, or you can hit the cancel button, and then it'll wait to prompt you to level up until you reach like the next threshold, which might be 1,000 experience for life, and then it might be 2,000 experience for attack.
Okay.
And you will only get to choose that when you hit that like 1,000 or 2,000. So you might be trying to, like, I really want to upgrade my attack damage, so I'm going to ignore the 1,000 experience level up for life, and I'm going to try and go for that 2,000 to get damage. But if you die in between there, then you lose all
It's
that.
gone.
You could have leveled up.
Right. You
and
could have bought
just-
something else.
You wasted it all. So it's definitely a high risk, high reward
Gotcha.
scenario.
You
So-
want those pea bags.
What are
Yeah.
Get those
pea bags?
Pea bags,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're
Is that
bags
what
of
it sounds
pepper.
like?
They're
Oh,
bags
okay.
of no, that legitimately is what I thought they were when I was
Yeah.
seeing the game. And P, he's looking for bags of pepper. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but
Why's Link got a catheter? This is weird.
As besides the leveling up system, I think the combat is actually really well done for
Yeah.
what kind of game it is. The
Very well done.
Yeah, as far as you've got to learn the enemies' patterns. The harder enemies anyway, the ones with like the shield that you just can't damage. You're attacking it, and your sword is just bouncing off. So you've got to find the weak point.
You have to either come in like
Yeah.
do a sliding duck and hit him, or fake him out so
Yeah.
he lowers his shield and then you jump and hit him in the head and jump back again. Like it's
they're just
constantly
little
like
little
engaging.
yeah. You pick up these little techniques overall, but yeah, I mean, no matter what your attack power is, you're not getting through that shield. You got to find that weak point
Yeah.
on the enemy.
So are all the fights the side-scrolling parts?
Yep.
Or like, okay, and everything else is like top-down?
The map is top down. All the actual dungeons and fighting is all side scrolling.
The dungeons
And
are
town.
side-scrolling?
Yep.
and the towns, yeah,
And the
everything
towns,
is.
yeah.
How do you handle dungeons side-scrolling? Like, is it just, is it like essentially just platforming at that point?
Yep, it's all platforming,
Okay.
and they do a fantastic job of putting monsters right off the screen. That preferably at the end of a jump, if you're jumping over water or lava, they'll put a monster right on that lip, so that if you just like go full willy-nilly into it and jump
Yeah.
towards that thing, you'll hit it, and the animation for getting hit knocks you back like 3 pixels into that water, and you lose a life. Like
So-
it's notorious for just putting guys right where it's going to kill you.
So this is absolutely the Dark Souls of Zelda games.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
You gotta have that fairy spell though.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the
fairy.
fairy spell is by far the most useful one. That and jump.
It turns
allow
you
to
into a
set
fairy.
jump. Yeah.
And you can fly across an entire section.
And
of
go through
platforming.
keyholes through doors too.
Yeah.
As a fairy, and
I never knew that until reading this game, that you could fly through a keyhole.
because
Go
there
play it.
are horse heads in this game. There are like Medusa heads in Castlevania. So getting through any part with those, it's much easier just to turn into a fairy and not fuck with it.
Does Link have beef with the mafia or?
They're sending him a very strange message.
I would actually try once I got my attack up. I would actually farm those guys for experience.
Yeah.
I was gonna
As-
ask
Because
how
you can
much
do a downward
grinding.
thrust, jump and downward thrust. They're not that bad.
How much grinding is required?
Not necessary. I guess.
I don't think it's
You-
terrible.
Yeah,
but,
you kind of.
but you'll want to grind and not just progress naturally.
If
Yeah.
you're good enough, yeah, you can progress naturally. At the end of every palace, you actually get enough experience to get to whatever next threshold that you need. So you could, if you work it right, you can do that. Like, you get to the 1,000, and then the next one's 3,000 experience points. You get to that threshold, and then you beat the dungeon. You get an
you up.
additional 2,000. So you can work it like that. Again, that's very high risk, but
Right.
But yeah, I've done a playthrough where I did very, very little grinding. Just whenever I was close to a level, I may do a little grinding, but most of the times I will go and kill those the bubbles, those little ghosts that you've got to hit like 200 times.
Oh yeah.
And they'll respawn because as soon as you they're one of the most annoying enemies in the game. They just
These
kind
ghosts?
of bounce around. Yeah, they're just these little
Like that enemy that follows the wall that sort of in all the
Yeah.
other Zelda games, if you in Link to the Past you threw fairy dust on them and they turn into a fairy.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Okay. I
They're like
gotcha.
little balls of light,
Right.
and I think like a skull inside or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Okay, so they will just bounce around off the ceiling, floor, and walls in this game. But if you attack them, they freeze. So they're freezing in spot, and eventually, like if you don't attack them again, they'll continue on their path.
Gotcha.
But you can just spam the attack and just continuously attack them. Of course, they take like 50, 60 hits.
Oh, but they
apiece.
eventually will die.
But they eventually will die, and they
He's
get
not exaggerating. They do take 50, 60 hits
Yeah.
until you level your sword up. Then they take, a 30, I
Yeah.
guess. but you're sitting there for 30 seconds, just stab.
So when I asked if there's grinding in this game, that's a resounding yes.
Yeah. I do have a bit of trivia for this game because I feel like the most iconic thing from this game, because we most recently saw it in Guacamelee. It's like you go behind a wall and you hear somebody talk to somebody and they just say, "I'm error."
Right.
"I'm error" is like the biggest thing from this game that carries on. You see that in so many other places. People thought that was hilarious, thought it was a mistake. No, "I am error." It was supposed to be a sort of a pun, or not really a pun, but just wordplay in the game. So "I am error" is accurate, but the mistake is the guy who says "I am Bagu." That was a mistranslation because like Bagu in Japanese is like bug. So it's supposed to be a programming joke with bug and error. But
Goofs.
Instead, they fucked it up to be error and Bagu. So,
So it was supposed to be error and bug?
yep.
It's okay. So that... Oh, man. Wow. Yeah, that's how a joke disintegrates right there.
So instead, everybody's like, "I don't know who Bagu is. He's fine. I am error." That they fucked up.
The dialogue between when you talk to the villagers is it's all kind of amusing though, because they really limit the dialogue box to like 6 to 8 words, so they all speak in like very broken English, like "I am Bagu, give note to Riverman."
It's all
Or
Riverman
hello.
will be like, "I am Riverman, I will take note." And it's something like that, and they're all just like extremely broken English.
eyes of Ganon are everywhere, and then they turn into a bat and attack you.
This sounds like dialogue from a very racist journey of Lewis and Clark.
Because let's see what else. The lives, because there are, I want to say like 5 or 6 extra lives hidden throughout the game. Once you claim them, they're gone.
That's it? Just
Yeah.
5 or 6 of them?
So what
They're one use too.
yeah. So what you pretty much need to do is wait until the very, very end, then gather them all up at once, and then assault the last level because you'll need them for the last stage.
Yeah.
And I don't think the stages aren't really even numbered either. Like you just see like a town looks like a few houses, a dungeon looks like 3 Roman columns, and you just walk in and there's just a dungeon. Like I don't recall there being like the first Zelda level 1, 2, 3, 4, so you knew sort of where you were in the game. This place just has there are dungeons.
You can accidentally stumble upon the 3rd dungeon when you're on supposed to be 2. Some of them are blocked by items that you'll get in dungeons. A lot of the items, some of the items are good for continual use. Some of them are like one-use items, like you'll get a raft that allows you to go from one part of the world to another part of the world, or you'll get a flute which allows you to specifically stop one creature that's blocking your path. But other items,
Yeah, and it's like so different from the flute in every other Zelda. Like so you wouldn't think to use it like you do.
except for me, who played this one first, and it's like, okay, this makes sense. You kill or you get rid of a large spider creature who's like Snorlax type, stopping you from going from one spot to another.
The river demon, you mean?
The river demon, excuse me, yes.
Did you give him the note?
That's River Man.
Oh, shit. Well, I
Different.
thought maybe that's what turned him into River Demon. Like the note is like turned into a demon now.
My favorite item you get is the child.
Yep.
That you hold aloft above your head.
Right.
You have to save a
MJ?
missing child.
Because for somebody to like give you the spell, you need to beat one of the dungeon bosses. Like he won't teach it to you until you go retrieve his nephew or some shit like that. And yeah, you find us in the corner, just that kid, and you touch him and raise him above your head.
Yeah.
Is the Triforce in this game?
It is from what I read in some of the wikis coming into this, that you are trying to find the Triforce of Courage. I think I forget what they're all called. I'm not well versed.
It's Link's personal Triforce.
They don't explain it well in the actual game, but the lore is the final boss the wizard that summons the final boss is the guardian of the Triforce, and he is testing your resolve. So he summons Shadow Link to fight you.
Okay, so that's where he comes in.
Right. So you get the Triforce at the end. That's what the goal is, to awaken Princess Zelda.
Because this is
Okay,
the last.
okay.
This is the last game in the Zelda timeline because
I don't put that.
because Link to the Past,
Who
the
knows?
original one is that's the cornerstone game. Like you beat Ganon in that one, and then it travels onto this one where they're trying to resurrect him. You stop his resurrection, and then I forget what it was. Like it reveals a little bit of Zelda lore. Like the first princess of every generation is to be named Zelda until some spell is broken. So it sort of indicates that this game, whenever you beat this game, it breaks the time cycle that like Link is stuck in, and it just ends the entire series. Like that's just it. Ganon doesn't come back. The final Zelda is woken up, and that's just it.
Nintendo has made it very clear though that they like to focus on the game, like the game mechanics, the world itself, and worry about where it fits into the lore second.
Just throw some bullshit story in there. It's Ganon's dream,
pretty much
dream one night, and
so how the timelines work, how they all intertwine is very much an afterthought for Nintendo. So I mean, it's kind of neat. Yeah, I think the fans demanded it, and that's kind of why they released it. But
yeah, I don't want to get on timelines. I already did a rant on fucking Nintendo bullshit timelines when we talked about Super Mario Brothers for the Patreon episode.
But what is it like? There's Zelda beats Ganon, Zelda dies to Ganon, and then there's a third option.
Link, you mean?
Well, I'm sorry, yeah, Link.
Yeah,
and because it's 3 different timelines.
Yeah, well, it has to do with Ocarina of Time, where there's the kid Link. The ending in that he goes back in time to live as a kid, but in the other world, that means he was never woken up or something as an adult Link and never killed Ganon. So Ganon ruled the world, and that goes off to become Wind Waker, the Wind Waker series, where Ganon ruled, and like the gods were forced to flood the land to stop Ganon. So
it's the timeline where Ganon gets the gambling book and gets to get his own casino. And
I got the almanac. Ganon's buffing the car.
Oh, okay, because I'm looking at the
Ganon Tower,
huge
just
convoluted
flashing in neon.
Mary Zelda gives her a big tit job.
Did you guys know that Link's Adventure actually predicted this upcoming election?
Return of Trump. Because there's my Triforce of Power is the best. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's the best part of the Triforce. I guarantee you. Because it goes like Skyward Sword is the first game in the series. Then, strangely enough, the Minish Cap, 4 Swords, and then Ocarina of Time. And then based on Ocarina of Time is if Link is defeated, then it goes Link to the Past, Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, Link's Awakening, Legend of Zelda, Adventures of Link.
This is according
in timeline
to who?
Nintendo's official timeline.
Yeah.
And then if Link is successful in Ocarina of Time, and let's see, because here's where let me look a little bit closer.
See, this whole timeline thing actually makes me like these games less.
Yeah, agreed.
Because
Go
ahead,
I've,
Phil.
I've only played and beaten this and Link to the Past, and I kind of feel like I'm not missing much. Like I should go back and play Zelda 1, but I don't feel like I'm missing a whole lot with everything else. Like I'm happy having just played these 2.
Right. It does kind of feel like, it almost feels like a ploy to get everybody to play all the Zelda games. So it's like, no, dude, I promise they're connected. I promise. No. You ride the train, and then the train, see, it tells a story that you need to listen to because it's important to the overarching story. You want to know everything about Zelda, right, kid? You got to play it.
God, that fucking game.
Okay, because here it is. Like, if the hero is successful in Ocarina of Time, then you either, the 2 timelines splits off into where the Sacred Realm is protected, like the alternate world, or Ganondorf is sealed away. And then that's where it splits again, because if the Sacred Realm is protected, then you get Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, and then 4 Swords and Hyrule Adventure. So it's kind of like, that's the shitty timeline. And then the other one, if Ganondorf is sealed away, then that's where you get Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, Four Swords and Spirit Tracks. Like that's the new world.
Have you seen the YouTube video of like it's Doc from Back to the Future talking to Link?
No.
He's like throwing all the like getting, we got to go back and stop Ganon. It's I'll have to find that and show it.
Yeah, put it in the show notes.
It sounds like Tyler like putting everything together.
Like red yarn,
Yeah,
like
you've got-
stretching
yes,
from game to game, where it's like, okay, so yeah, I'm not into it at all. Like it's really, like I said, it actually turns me off to the series more than anything.
Well, like I was saying, this was kind of done from the fans' pressure.
Right.
Nintendo. It's
Like I never, like, please Square Enix, please never ever be like, this is how all the Final Fantasy games are connected.
well, I
Yeah.
told you they've got them connected in Brave Exvius, where you summon them.
That's fine because like that is clearly like fan service, and like Final Fantasy 14 has got like the Golden Saucer, it's got Ultros in it, it's got like a whole bunch of things from different Final Fantasy games, and they never fucking explain it, and I love it because it's just like it's just unadulterated. It's just like fucking they just open the can on fan service. It's like, here, you just want this, right? Here, that's fine. No, we're not gonna explain it. You don't want that either, do you? Great.
Yeah. And then there's the timeline where Ganondorf goes off and does his own VHS sports tapes. There's Ganondorf on golf, Ganondorf on fishing. It really gets blurry in this.
Because in Ocarina of
By the
Time,
way-
he cuts Ganondorf off at the knees. So then,
If anyone wants to do Photoshops out there, and I'm looking at you, Micah, if you want to do a Ganondorf on golf Photoshop, I'd really appreciate it. Ganondorf on NASCAR. You know, I'm looking up Dorf right now. There's a lot of Dorf
There's
videos
a lot
out
of
there.
Is
fucking
there
Dorf
really? I
videos.
know like Dorf did a golf thing. What else is there?
It goes
there's-
just fishing. I
fishing
know.
is the one that I've watched
Fishing.
a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
There's Dorf on the diamond. That's obviously a baseball one.
It's not a
Tim
Blood
Conway
Diamond
is-
documentary.
I see a super fan collection saying all 8 classics. So I guess there's 8 Dorf videos out there.
Phil, can you look up the official Dorf timeline for me, please?
Hello, Patreon episode.
It apparently
Conway
ends with
falls into a warp and becomes Dorf. Yeah.
All right, if Dorf wins this game of golf, you get the good timeline where Dorf goes to see the NASCAR race. If Dorf loses this game of golf, then Dorf goes fishing because he lost a lot of money. He can only afford that.
that timeline ends with him doing porn.
If Dorf seals his legs away forever. Fucking Dorf.
I haven't thought about Dorf in a long time.
Getting back slightly on track.
Boo.
Boo. I will say, like, the music and the sound in this game is superb. Like, I am not, like, when you guys make ASMR jokes on here, it doesn't really resonate with me because I don't give a shit.
It's not
but
real.
this-
Don't worry about it.
This is the closest thing when I hear the twings of the sword against the shield or
the wall
I mean,
like that. Yeah,
like I find it's just really audibly good sound and the music. There's really only like I want to say there's like 6 songs in the whole game, probably 4 like the dungeon theme, the town theme, the palace theme, and some. There's not many that you really hear, and they play over and over again, but they're so good and they're so catchy and memorable, and I find I don't get tired of them. Like, they're legitimately good musical pieces. So that's another thing with that really sticks out to me as a positive for the game.
like trudging through the swamp. That like itchy sound. I don't really know how else to describe
Like
it. It's-
rubbing velvet against a balloon almost. It sounds
yeah,
Whoa.
it's kind of uncomfortable, but it's supposed to be. It's really
It's good sound
yeah.
design.
And it's got a smooth McGroove track for the Palace theme, so I want to say that makes it a good song. If Smooth McGroove is doing a cover of the song, it's probably a good one. So
I agree. That dude makes a lot of money doing this.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Why can't you guys do that?
Lack of talent, I think it'd be like number 1 on the list.
My 100% lack of musical ability. Like, I can barely even hum. Like,
That's a distant.
Bad.
That's a distant number 2.
do you guys have any achievements for this game?
No, I didn't even think of it.
I also did not think of them. Can we brainstorm some real quick?
Yeah, let's.
Well, I've got two.
Tyler's got us covered.
Can we
go
just
over these
stop
real quick.
recording and come back tomorrow and then pretend like we had them ready to go?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, so I got one here, just off the top of my head real quick.
Okay.
It is called I Am Error. And you get I Am Error when you turn the Nintendo off without holding the reset button down.
Oh,
Fixes your game.
shit.
Fucking battery packs,
Somebody
man.
likes to live dangerously.
Yeah.
Because my first one is Heron Mark Master Sword, which is a Wheel of Time reference.
Gotcha.
So all blade masters who have it's a rigorous trial of approval and training to become declared a blade master and get a Heron Mark sword.
Okay.
So you become the Heron Mark Master Sword when you collect all the sword maneuvers. And the second one is the Houston 500, which you get that when Link sleeps with 500 women.
Wait, what? You can sleep
No,
with
nothing.
women?
No, it
was-
doesn't happen. Don't worry about it.
I know exactly what you're
When you
gonna-
go into town,
Yeah.
you can talk to a young woman who leads you into her house and suddenly your health refills. Or you talk to
you don't go into the house. You see Link and the woman vanish in the house, and
Yeah.
the door closes.
And then
You're-
hearts come out of the window
yeah,
or something?
you're still outside. But
Yeah.
yeah, the health bar.
you
and
see
then-
it just fill up and then Link leaves the house again.
and then the
And you
old
talk to an
woman.
old woman who then refills your magic in the same way.
So that's anal, right?
Yep.
So not only is this the Dark Souls of Zelda games, this is also the Grand Theft Auto of Dark Souls games.
Well, you
Or
don't
Zelda games.
get to kill them afterwards.
Oh, never mind.
But if
It's the honey pop.
no one else probably knows this from me unless they're real porn aficionados, but the Houston 500 was, I remember seeing it on Howard Stern back when I was in middle school, high school, and she held the Guinness Book of World Record for the biggest gangbang. So the Houston 500 was where she fucked 500 guys.
Who was this?
The porn star Houston.
Houston.
Yeah.
She's a porn star?
Oh, she
Okay.
is. She looks really bad now, but back then.
Well, yeah, she got fucked by 500 guys.
500 guys. Well, the record now is like much higher than that.
Really?
It's substantially higher than that.
Did she beat her own record, or is it somebody else?
Oh, I forget the girl who who has the record
is there-
now. I
is
want to
there-
say it's like 2000.
Hold on, is there like a committee that determines the rules? Like, does every guy have to have an orgasm? I mean, does this?
Yeah, that's a
like
good
what's
question.
I mean,
I think so. That's why there are tons of fluffers who get them till they're about there. Then they have sex with the woman who's doing the gangbang and they finish.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So if you want to see Tyler and Dave break a world record, Patreon donors,
we need
get that.
fluffers. We need lots of fluffers.
That's the $1,000 goal.
Well, I don't think I could last as long as Houston.
Oh, because what was it? Lisa something, I think.
Lampanelli.
Lisa Lampanelli. I want to say it's around
Turtle.
2000.
Turtle.
I want to say that.
Simpson.
I got
That's all
one
I have.
more.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got one where I pulled out of my ass. So Ganondorf on fishing. And you get the Ganondorf on fishing when Link dies his last life by falling into water.
There you go. Because I know bubbles also hurt you a lot in this game. Because there are the levels where you're jumping over fireballs, things like that. And there's levels where bubbles are rising out from under a bridge.
The bridge
From
levels.
Trailer Park Boys. He comes out and pushes you off
Just
into
stabs
the
you,
water.
summons kittens. Well, that's all I got. If anybody else has anything else to add about this game.
I don't think I'll be playing it, but thank you for telling me about
It kind of gets a shaft. A lot of people seem to hate it, but
Because it's just so different.
Which is weird because, like, while we were talking, like, this game was received very well. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
when it came out, it won awards. Like, I mean, this game was received very well.
It is a good game. It's not my favorite in the Zelda series, but it is definitely a good game.
I think it's top 5 in like most sold NES cartridges. I have no information to back that up, but I think it's one of the most popular games on the NES of all time.
So I think it's a little different in regards, like, to make the comparison between it and Super Mario Brothers 2, because I feel like, I don't know. I'll have to do research on that because, like, Super Mario Brothers 2, I can't remember how well it was received when it came out. I'm sure it was fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was fine. The power of brand is immeasurable. Throw Mario's face on it. Someone's gonna like it. I'm sure.
Honestly, I don't mind this type of thing. Like, so the story behind this is that Miyamoto got an entirely new development team to make this. That's why it's so markedly different. And I wish more franchises would kind of do this and take a chance on trying to make a new game out of their old thing, like
Madden.
Yeah, sure.
Madden does blitzball.
I'm thinking more like Grand Theft Auto when it went from 2 to 3, and it went with a completely different direction. I'm not even sure if it was a completely different production group or what, but then all of a sudden 3 became the cornerstone, and that was Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
And we wouldn't have the Grand Theft Auto games we have today if they hadn't have gone from the top-down version to like the 3D behind the character.
Right.
So.
And also that's kind of like Fallout. I mean, like that kind of transition from like the isometric.
There are people that hate that.
Right.
Because the angry video game nerd did an episode over this game. At the beginning, he's just like, well, I've got a lot of requests on this game, so I'm going to do it, but I don't think this is a bad game at all. So I was like, yeah, you're totally right. People just like wanted another Zelda 1, and this is not it. But I think it's totally good.
But it's weird though.
It's got a hover horse in it.
Oh,
Do you guys remember the boss with the hover horse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The third boss. Oh yeah.
It's weird though because like people obviously didn't think it was a bad game when it came out because it's reviewed very well, like and like critically acclaimed. So like, what happened between then and now? Like, is it just kind of one of those things?
The Zelda fan base is a really strange fan base. I don't know. They
weep openly at E3.
Yeah. Well,
nice way of saying they're all assholes, Josh.
Yeah. Well, okay, because when Wind Waker came out, they all hated Wind Waker, and now it's one of the most loved of the franchise. Same thing with Twilight Princess. I don't know. They just have this weird love-hate relationship with these.
This isn't what I expected. Oh, I hate it.
Right.
Okay, I've played it a lot, and actually, it's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
I got some questions for you, my friend. The first of which is, if you were to give this game a beard that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of beard would it be?
I would have to give this the blondish but well-defined beard of Sean Bean.
Does Link die in the end?
Many times.
And many times. It's all about how many times Link dies. And I feel like Zelda 2 is the unappreciated supporter of the Zelda series.
Each time Link dies, Ganon reawakens, and that's a new timeline where Ganon is in control.
I know there's a supercut of Sean Bean deaths on YouTube somewhere. I'll find it and put it in the show notes. That has to exist.
Because what was I reading about? Like people complaining, like Sean Bean, it's either Sean Bean or Sean Bon. You can't spell it the same way and pronounce it two different ways.
Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
If you were to give this game a pair of glasses, what kind of glasses would you give it?
I would give this the nice spectacles of one James Woods, as he is a underappreciated, unsung supporting actor of many, many movies. Much like I think Zelda is the unsung hero and establisher and supporter of the Zelda series.
I like
I
those.
don't think I've ever seen James Woods in a pair of glasses.
I looked it up on
Wait.
Google.
Same here.
Google.
Shut down!
Yeah.
In Scary Movie 2, there's a picture of James Woods wearing glasses.
Google unappreciated actors, and you'll find a picture of him in glasses.
Just Google actors in glasses. I got another question for everybody here. I'm curious, how much is this game on Amazon? Phil, I can't confirm whether or not you're cheating, so please give me your word that you will not look this up.
I promise.
Okay.
Tap.
Guys, how much do you think this game is on Amazon? We'll start with Phil.
I'm gonna go with $44.99.
$44.99 from Phil. Josh?
This is used, correct?
This is used. I'm so sorry. Phil, does that
Okay.
change your
Oh,
answer?
okay.
It's been fucked over 2,000 times. It's
Yeah.
well used.
It's won the Link 2000.
It is stretched
No.
out damaged goods in the Link 2000.
So many people have blown in this cartridge.
I assumed it was broken in. So $44.99.
All right.
I'm still going with
$44.99 from Phil. Josh.
You can't remember. I've lost my copy. I would be willing to pay $35. So I'm gonna go with $35.
$35 from Josh. Tyler, how much do you think this game is used on Amazon?
I bought one of my copies of this game for $5 off Craigslist.
Okay.
I met a strange lady at Kroger. Yeah.
Really? That was the drop-off point?
Yep. She was working at Kroger. She was
Okay.
stocking the gift cards.
Okay.
And like I had to come find her, and she just out of her apron hands me the game.
She
and I
had it
hand
on her the whole
$5.
day. Was it warm in your hand?
I like that she's stalking, doesn't even look at you, just like pulls it out of her apron, hands it behind her.
I think as a not particularly rare game, because it sold very well, and I feel like I've seen plenty of copies of it. I'm going to say $8.
$8 from Tyler. Okay, guys. All good guesses. Actual retail value of Zelda II, The Adventure of Link, for the Nintendo Entertainment System, used on Amazon at the time of this recording, is $14.85. Tyler, you are the closest without going over. Congratulations. You're a winner.
Is that a gray cartridge or a gold cartridge?
Ooh.
You know, they don't have it broken out on Amazon. So let me see. Let me click on this little
Because
link
I think
here.
isn't like the first release wave of both the original Zelda and Link and the Adventures of Link. The first wave is gold cartridges, and all after that they're all gray. So I wonder if that makes any part of a substantial difference.
Tyler, I cannot confirm the color of the cartridge. I'm sorry. I did not anticipate that question.
Because I think I have two in my collection. I have two gold copies of this game, and then one gray copy.
Nice. I don't know how much the golds go for. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what? I don't even know what you're buying on Amazon.
Well, thanks for coming on, Phil and Josh. Talk about this game.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
It was fun.
Did you expect us to suddenly fulfill one of your requests, Phil, out of the blue?
No. Well, yeah, actually. Like, I knew at one point it would get to this where you guys wouldn't have enough time to do an episode. Give enough time, you'd rather just either do all calls or...
Break out the old TADPOG.
Yeah.
Dust it off. I like it. How are we on time?
We're okay. Like, do you want to take a call or anything?
I want to hear some YouTube comments because I know that Phil's put in some work.
There's always time for YouTube comments.
And that's Phil's segment. He kind of birthed it on the show.
It came out of my urethra.
It did. Do you have any good ones, Phil?
I do. How much time do we got? Like, I can go for a long
Can we do a bonus episode of just YouTube comments?
Well, like Dorian, what's his name from The Mask? Whenever he rips up the mask, there's always time for one last kiss. There's always time for YouTube comments.
All right, YouTube comments brought to you by Bulbasaur's money. The first one comes from user JamesQual86, who says, "Has anyone seen my buddy David Simon? It's past 8:30 p.m. He goes to bed about that." User David Simon responds, JamesQual86, I'm here. And JamesQual86 says, "I see you, David. It's past 8:30 p.m.
Man, that was a frog and toad story right there, I feel like.
The next user, which was written in Arabic, so I don't know how to read it, says, "This game make me suck." Ronaldo Cardenas Salvador says, "Me gusta," with lots of A's. Beeve Isolid says, "This game caused more fights in my parents' house than anything."
Well, that got dark.
I think the original's better. Shut your fucking mouth, whore.
You know what I think's better? Your sister's vagina.
Oh, that brings me on to user Oscar Wilde, who says, "I'm so horny I could fuck an Octorok." Niarbet says, "Oh, that's backwards for the Brian. Ha, look at that." Or the brain, excuse me. But he says, best edition of Tony Hawk. Jason Odermatt says, "What is level grinding? I have been hearing that term a lot. Is that what we called leveling up? And Zelda 2 is hard, but I like it."
That seems like a neckbeardy comment. Like I don't
Yeah.
feel like that was like soaked with a joke at all. That was just a guy like, I don't get it. Please explain.
Please explain.
Yeah.
Like whenever we say something about American culture that Shake doesn't understand, we'll get the Facebook message. What? Please explain.
Rainbow Pop-Tarts. Please
Please
explain.
explain.
All right, I got a few more here. So Child of Cascadia says, teabag with the pee bag. Diamond Windows YTP says, please don't stop playing games. Don't stop the music. Fall it, stick it, magic it, the power.
Is that a Daft Punk song?
Fall it, stick it, magic, power.
Let's stick it, power.
Mop Brothers says, to think that my older brother beat this game on the NES at age 7 in 1989. Holy shit, was he a talented child.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Phil. Because you said that, something I meant to talk about, but I forgot, is how difficult Dark Link is. He's insanely difficult unless you do this one super cheap trick, which is to duck in the corner and just keep stabbing your sword. And you can beat it without getting hit once.
Yep, he'll just run into your sword over and over again.
Because Josh, I remember Shake telling me the story, like he was over your house when you got to Dark Link and you just died time after time after time and you were so frustrated with it. And he just asked to give it, can I try? And you handed it to him and he beat it first try, having not played the game. And you were so mad at him.
It's like when your brother...
Even now you look a little mad that I brought it up.
Okay, so I got 3 more. Big Rog 1988 says, wow, this looks absolutely terrible. The Super Mario Brothers 2 of the series.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Yeah. I take that as a
You get on YouTube right now and you tell that motherfucker.
Oh, he's going to hear from me.
And I'll actually skip this one. I'll end with this best one from Shoal in Skunk 588, who says, I started this last week. McLovin' it.
Wait, when was that posted? Do you have a date on that?
I do not.
Oh,
these are
man.
all-
I hope it was like yesterday and like nowhere near the time Superbad came out.
Oh, man.
So thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
Yeah, that was
I'm glad
good.
you came prepared.
Yeah.
Let me burp real quick. It's unprofessional.
Yeah, we're good.
So I think that's pretty good. I think it's adequate.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this has been adequate as well.
Yep.
Let's end it.
It's
I feel like our lovemaking
it's been an episode.
Yeah.
It has been an episode.
I feel like this has been pretty good. I'm not going to lie. But that might be because I didn't have to do anything for it.
So thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher. So don't miss the next episode. Are we gonna do all calls so we can play more games?
I would say I would love to do that.
Okay.
I would love to not play Dune. Can we just say that we're not going to do Dune?
Dune is what's next.
Dune is what's next on Digital Trends Top 25.
We'll
Sega
just
Genesis games.
we'll just all listen to the audiobook.
Audio.
We'll listen to the audiobook live, and we can.
We'll just play all 26 hours of the audio book.
Yeah, we can comment in real time.
I vote for an all calls. A, it's easy. B, some people have actually been asking for all calls.
That's true. I have seen that.
So
we'll give us more time to play the game because there are games like we want to play right now. I'm almost done with another Steam game that I've been wanting to play for a long time. I'm almost done with it, and I want to finish that before I move on to Dune now. So yeah, we'll do that on
Save
Wednesday and then get back on
figure
track.
something out for Monday,
Yep.
and then
Then
so
get
it's
back
all
on
up in
track.
the air. It's July. Give us a break.
Yep. Yep.
And I vote for more all call shows because that means we can get to the stuff that I have been sending the past couple of weeks, which is probably like 100 calls down the line. So the sooner we can get to there is a frog and toad somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
If you want to help us out, you can go to iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still good. It's still the biggest marketplace. I'm not going to make a big deal about it. You can just go there if you want to. It's cool. It's cool. Or you can send us messages, tweet at us, whatever. We love listener feedback and questions and comments and requests and all that. So whatever you want to request for a game for us to play, guest host, Patreon, get it to us, and we promise we will get to that
Eventually.
Don't worry, guys. Like Tyler said, we're going to be back. We're probably going to be taking calls. In the meantime, you can always find us on TADPOG.com. That's where the show notes live. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We do have a Patreon. Hey, did you enjoy this conversation? Let me talk to you for real for a minute. Did you like this conversation? Would you like more conversations like this?
You guys can't see it, but Dave is sitting backwards in his chair.
I flipped it around.
It's really,
my hat's back.
yeah.
Everything's backwards
AC
on
Slater
me.
style.
I tell you what, if you enjoyed this, why not donate on Patreon? There are a lot of cool people doing it already. If you've been on the fence for a while, we have a lot of bonus episodes on Patreon now. So if you enjoyed it, like if you're at the end of your Tadpog queue and you're like, God damn it, I wish there was more of this. I wish there was like some like really, really gross stories and like Tadpog cranked up to 11, then that's the bonus episodes on Patreon, which you have access to if you donate $1 on there. So I urge you to go to patreon.com/tadpog, chip in $1 if you haven't already, and you get access to all that stuff. And it makes us really happy on top of that.
Because when we get to 300, I'm going to go to Fantasy World and see what's behind that door.
So we're doing that's official now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All
Get
right,
to 300, because that Phil, you recommend everybody just throw in another $1, and we'll get there.
That's true. I think I actually left a message on the phone that if you aren't at 300 by like October, you'll get another reminder for the fans. And Dave, while you were giving that promo,
Yeah.
I upped my total by 50 cents. I'm on top of it and I love it because whenever you add money onto the Patreon, you get the message back that says, "Holy
spoil
shit,
it."
you actually decided to give us money." Sorry.
That's all right. I'll just change it or something. I want to thank some people who have donated recently. Apparently, Phil, did you just do it?
Yeah.
Literally just did it.
Yeah.
Because it has not come through yet through my email. So, Phil, thank you. I want to thank you in person, kind of.
We haven't got the money yet, Phil. Please send a cashier's check.
For 50 cents.
Mail in your Patreon proof of purchase, and 4 to 8 weeks we'll send you something, some kind of gift. I want to thank Ryan Walters, who recently just updated his pledge. Thank you, Ryan. And I want to thank Exalted Lord Micah Purdue, a.k.a. Micah Purdue, for upping his pledge as well. He upped it a penny, as he does at the end of each episode. So thank you very much, guys. It does help us try to make this thing like a real thing. So that's nice.
Let's see what else.
Shirts are done.
Oh, let's talk
Shirts
about
are
that.
done.
Let's talk about that.
That's
Shirts
a very
are done.
nice shirt you're wearing, Dave.
Thank you. I decided to be a huge dork and wear my own podcast shirt to this recording. Mainly to show Tyler that the new revision has come in. I think it looks a lot better.
It looks really good.
The first one, like, I wasn't happy with. The logo was enormous on it.
The
like,
T in my name and the E at the end of your name are in your armpits.
yeah, I mean,
So-
yeah, they were like, I can't believe Amazon didn't contact me and was like, hey.
Tyler's
do you wanna-"
complexion was a little off. It was just horrible.
But these are good. Like, it's all like shaped right and everything. So you can buy those. What I'm going to do is in the near future, I'm going to activate it on Amazon. That's where you can buy it. We'll have a link to it somewhere. The problem is the site's really bad, so I don't have like a great spot to put a link for the shirt there other than the show notes. But the point of this is shirts are coming.
Yep.
Shirts are coming. They're going to be around $20. I can't make them a whole lot cheaper, unfortunately. But I think 20. Like, I buy t-shirts for $20. That's usually my cutoff. Like, if it's over $20, I don't know. So I don't know. That's kind of, it is what it is. Phil, what do you think about that price point?
I think that's a good quality price point. You're getting a good product. I can't buy into this.
No,
$15 or nothing. Too much.
Yeah. Well, shit, man. Now I got to rethink all of this.
No, I'll pay $20 for a T-shirt.
Sure. Oh,
Just a plain blue shirt is what you get for $15.
shit,
Yeah.
I can do that. I can do you that for 12.
It comes with a Sharpie where you just write Tadpog on it yourself.
Oh, you want the Sharpie? Well, that knocks it up to $20.
Remember, that's when Brandon would always wear white shirts to school in high school and just write Abercrombie and Fitch or put a big AE on it.
We
did that to
guarantee
him.
the Sharpies are 100% butt Sharpies.
I did that to him at Apex when we worked together. He was talking about how he needed to save up for an Abercrombie shirt. So he was wearing a white shirt at the time. I had a Sharpie at my desk, and I went over and I wrote Abercrombie and Fitch on his shirt.
Oh.
So that's a
total,
Dave original.
He took total credit for that.
Well, you know, I'm not saying that's in his character type or anything.
I want to get like the 5-minute infomercial for the TADPOG T-shirt. Like for $20, you not only get the TADPOG T-shirt, you get the butt Sharpie, you get the TADPOG keychain, you get the voicemail recording of Tyler and Dave. Would you pay $30 for this? $40 for this?
So the point of that is look for shirts. we'll be getting that information to you on Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that if you want to buy one.
Sweet. I'm on board.
Cool. And that Phil, I also want to apologize because I did not mean that to be like an on like the point like Phil's recording, so I'm gonna sell a shirt real easy. He's got to say yeah.
Would you pay that, Bill?
Get one. Do you make them in child size?
That is,
Harold Arthur could use a shirt. Bulbasaur could use a shirt. Like you got 3 sales just waiting for you here.
excellent. I yeah, of course. Please.
You get one up Sharpie.
Yeah. Here's 3 shirts and 3 weird smelling Sharpies.
Each end smells differently.
It's a guessing game. If you want to give us a call, you can also do that. You can give us a ring at 270-883-2555. Try to keep it to 3 minutes if you want. You can also text to that number. I'll read it on the show, and I promise I'll fuck it up.
If you want to send us something.
Yeah, let's ask Josh because it's technically his P.O. box. Let's see if he knows what it is.
3785, care of Nicole Nance. Oh, sorry. 3785 Paducah, Kentucky 42002.
Yep. So
All
TADPOG
right.
Studios, care of Nicole Nance. Yep. Good job.
I'm impressed. I expected you to not know the P.O. box because I sure as fuck can't remember it. We say
Yep.
it every episode.
And we have an Instagram, TADPOG_podcast.
Yeah, we got the Twitch
Follow us
channel. If you want to see me and Josh Edwards play Chivalry for 4.5 hours.
We've got a Steam group where nothing happens, but it's
Yeah,
there.
join the Steam group. Josh Edwards wants to start a TADPOG Chivalry thing. So if anyone's interested in
So
that,
it's just where we're really nice. That we're just
Yeah,
we're just
bringing it back.
neckbeards tipping fedoras to people, and like,
Milady,
Milady.
that could be our clan name. It could be Milady.
we're classy TADPOG gentlemen. Tips fedora.
So if you're interested in that,
Are there
join the Steam
chivalry
group.
mods where you can replace the helmets with fedoras?
Do not. Some dude was running around in a Santa hat, so probably.
Let's see, Phil.
Yeah.
What is our theme song?
Informer by Snow. No.
I assume that's an actual song.
Informer.
You don't know that song?
Drawing a blank.
Yeah, I know that. I can't sing the lyrics. Neither can
Link for the
Phil,
show
to be fair.
notes.
Yeah.
It made me think of Berserker, though.
Yeah, I know that one.
My love is like a trucker.
And by that I mean Moves is the name of the song.
Who is that by, Josh?
Sycamore
Snow.
Yeah.
Snow. He just said it. Weren't you fucking listening?
I'd like to hear Snow's cover of "Moves" by Sycamore Drive. It's a lot of really, really awesome scat.
And link to that track within the show notes at TADPOG.com. How would you guys like to close this out?
I say like Ganon laughing.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one. Okay.
I haven't heard it.
It's like Soda Popinski laughing.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
Soda
I got
Pop-
that. I got that.
So until next time. I like that. That was good.
You know that's exactly what Trump's gonna say when he wins.
And he's gonna. Womp, womp.
What's the biggest cock you've seen in real life, in person, on a
seen-
human? None of this animal bullshit. We
I
need
have-
names. Tyler,
I've
we're
seen
recording. Right?
painfully. this one cock I saw was named Terrence. It was 7 3/4 inches. Not big, but certainly not a small cock.
Damn, Phil, you haven't lived.
I know.
You need to get out there and see more cocks.